Freezing and storing breast milk can be a difficult and frustrating experience. Today I'm going to give some tips and tricks on ways to freeze and store breast milk for either personal use or donation. Please keep in mind that these are just my preferences. Each person will need to figure out what works best for them. I'm going to show bags that have actual breast milk in them, as well as bags filled with Gatorade so that I don't compromise the integrity of my breast milk. First, you want to fill up your bags. Try to get as much air out as possible, as this helps in freezing your bags as flat as you can. I do this by folding my bags over themselves and using the liquid to push the air out toward the zipper. Pinch the bag between your fingers, fold the bag over itself, and slowly and carefully push the air out and close the zipper. If in doing that you still notice some bubbles, repeat the process. Some people don't mind a couple of bubbles, and some people want 0 bubbles at all. Do whatever works for you. I've tried 3 different methods of freezing breast milk: laying a bag flat with nothing on top, placing another frozen bag on top, and sandwiching the bag between 2 cookie sheets. I prefer the cookie sheet method as I feel it makes the bags beautifully flat and allows me to make the most of my available storage space. I'll speak more to the pros and cons of each option in a bit. As shown here, when using the cookie sheet method, it's best to put bags with the same amount of ounces onto the same sheet. If I put a bag with 6 ounces on the cookie sheet, along with a bag with only 4 ounces, my bags won't freeze evenly because the cookie sheet will inevitably slope towards the lesser filled bag. You also want to alternate the direction that the zippers face. This helps create a uniformity in the flatness of your surface and helps the bags freeze all flat rather than there being a slope towards the zipper. Depending on how many ounces you produce, you may only need 2 to 4 cookie sheets. I bought a set from Walmart that contained 3 different sizes: 1 large, 1 medium, and 1 small. I purchased 2 of these sets for a total of 6 cookie sheets, and that seems to work well for me. Once your bags are frozen, you need a way to store them. Remember, find what works best for you, but here's my preferred method: gallon-sized zip-top bags. I place my frozen milk bags into a gallon bag, alternating the direction they face for optimal space saving. I love the slider top flat bottom bags for this purpose, as it helps the bag stand up on its own, which is great when storing in the freezer. Depending on how full I fill my milk bags, I can get anywhere from 68 to about 75 ounces per gallon size bag, and that works out to 12 to 16 milk bags per gallon bag. I stack my gallon bags so that the newest milk is at the back of the freezer and the oldest is to the front. Regardless of storing for personal use or donation, dates are very important so that you can be sure that the milk is used or sent out timely. Because I store milk for donation, it's also nice to have the gallon bags, as it makes packing my donation coolers easier. I know how many ounces and how many bags are in each gallon bag, so I know how much is going into my cooler and being sent out. Some people who use the gallon bag method write the number of ounces directly on the bag, but I personally have a spreadsheet that I keep track of this information on, so I don't have to continually write on the bags. Have you ever used a Sharpie on a frozen bag? It's hard. Here's a better visual of how I remove my bubbles. I pinch the bag between my fingers, fold the bag over itself, use the liquid to push the air out, and zip closed. If you still have bubbles, repeat the process until you're happy with your bag. Now for the freezing method pros and cons. Flat bags are the easiest to deal with. You just place your bag on a flat surface and go. The bad to this is that the top can be more rounded out at the edges, and there may be a slight slope to the bag, as more of the liquid naturally goes towards the bottom of the bag and less towards the zipper, just because of the design. No matter how I position my bags, they all ended up thicker at the bottom and thinner towards the zipper. This is more noticeable the more filled the bag is. Using a previously frozen bag is also easy because there are no extra tools needed to freeze with this method. You just take a previously frozen bag and balance it on top of your new bag. The bad is that you can get oddly shapen bags. No matter how I position mine, all of my bags ended up thicker at the bottom of the bag and thinner toward the zipper. This is definitely more noticeable the more filled the bag is. This can still be okay as long as you alternate direction in your storing practices, but you also run the risk of the previously frozen bag sliding off of your new bag, which will make your new bag freeze even more oddly. The favorite method of this pumper is the cookie sheet method. By sandwiching your milk bags between two cookie sheets, you get flat bags on both sides, top and bottom. These are great for storage purposes as they stack together so well and fit into gallon-sized bags nicely, as we saw earlier. These bags freezing flat makes it easy to stack them all facing the same direction, but I still alternate them. No matter your method, alternating the direction of the bags helps a ton. Careful though when stacking bags of mixed freezing methods. They don't seem to get along too well and tend to misbehave. Hopefully the information in this video gives you an idea of how best to store your milk. Find what works for you and go with that. And don't feel like you have to commit to something and stick with it forever. I definitely don't do things now the way that I did when I first started out. So again, play around with some options, find what works best for you, and happy freezing!